Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive into, well, you guessed it, George Orwell's 1984. I think we all know this one, right? A book that just never seems to age, does it? It keeps feeling, well, relevant, to say the least. A world with Big Brother always watching, where even your thoughts are policed, I mean. Pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, heavy stuff is right. And Orwell, you know, he really wasn't pulling punches, was he? Drawing on his own, well, run-ins with totalitarian regimes, I guess you could say, and really, really scared, it seems, about, you know, what the future could hold. And he just lays it all out there in Oceania. Fear, surveillance, you name it, this whole manipulation of reality thing. It's pretty bleak stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. But, you know, at the center of it all is Winston, right? Just an ordinary guy, kind of, I don't know, like a cog in this giant machine of oppression. And he works, get this, at the Ministry of Truth.
Oh, right.
The Ministry of Truth. You can't make this stuff up.
Oh, the irony.
Right. And his job, well, he rewrites history. Literally. Yeah. I mean, he makes the past fit whatever the party wants it to be. You know, their agenda, always shifting, always I guess, in control.
And that's going to wear on a guy, right? I mean, to have to do that day in and day out, to twist the truth like that, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you question everything.
Totally. And I think that's what makes Winston so interesting, so relatable. Mm-hmm. He's not some, you know, superhero or some hardened revolutionary. He's just, well, he's like you or me. Just a normal guy who, at first, you know, he buys into the whole party line, but then he starts to see through it. The cracks start to show. He wakes up.
He's that little flicker, you know, that spark of humanity, that yearning for truth and freedom that even the worst regimes, they can't stamp out completely.
And it's that yearning that leads him to Julia, right? This woman, she seems so carefree, so, I don't know, like free-spirited.
Yeah.
But she's got this rebellious streak too. And in this world where any kind of personal connection is seen as dangerous, well, their love affair, it's an act of defiance.
You said it. It's like, what does it mean to be human in a place like that, where everything is about, you know, isolating people, atomizing them, you know, breaking down any kind of solidarity, their relationship. It's this exploration of, I don't know, of human nature, I guess, of the need for connection, for intimacy, even when the powers that be are trying to crush it.
So they find this haven, this little bubble of, well, almost freedom, a rented room above Mr. Charrington's antique shop. It seems, well, safe, untouched by the telescreens and the thought police.
Right, yeah, like a little time capsule.
Exactly. And they really come alive, exploring their desires, sharing their dreams of a different world.
But of course, it can't last, can it?
You're right, it can't. I mean, talk about a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Their safe space. It's a trap.
Yeah, Mr. Charrington, that harmless old shopkeeper, member of the thought police.
Talk about betrayal. And it's all been well monitored, every private moment spied on. And that's when things really take a turn for the worse. Winston and Julia, they get captured, taken to the Ministry of Love. I mean, what a euphemism, right? The Ministry of Love, more like the Ministry of Fear.
The Ministry of control, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the party's, I don't know, their real HQ, you know, the place where they wield their power. And it's not pretty. I mean, the torture, physical and psychological, breaking them down, forcing them to conform.
Yeah, it's chilling. It makes you think about, you know, how far would we go? What are the limits of human endurance? And how much can we really hold on to our convictions?
And what's really scary is O'Brien. Winston's torture. I mean, he's not some sadist, you know. He really believes in the party. He thinks he's saving Winston, helping him to see the truth.
It's like, that makes it even worse, doesn't it? It's not just brutality. It's this manipulation, this like you said, this persuasion, twisting his own logic, using his emotions against him.
It's messed up.
It really is. And then there's Room 101. I mean, that's the ultimate weapon, right? Yeah. Every prisoner, they face their worst fear. And it's there that Winston breaks. He sees his greatest phobia and he betrays Julia. Do it to Julia, not me. I mean, that's it, right? That's the end of Winston, the end of his individuality, his love for Julia.
Just gone.
Just gone.
It's brutal, isn't it? Room 101, I mean, that's the whole point of the party, isn't it? Not just controlling what you do, but what you think, your whole being.
And they do it with this system, right? Surveillance everywhere, telescreens, thought police lurking in the shadows. I mean, there's no privacy, no escape. Every word, every move, it's all under scrutiny.
Like living in a panopticon, right? That prison design, where you never know if you're being watched, but you always feel like you are.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the whole point, right? To make you censor yourself, to conform. It's power, but it's not just brute force. It's messing with your head.
And it's not just, watching what you do. It's your thoughts. The thought police. I mean, that's the truly terrifying part, right? That you can get inside your head. That no thought is safe. If you even think about rebelling, they'll know.
It's like they're trying to control the very act of thinking, and they do it with this whole system, the surveillance, the propaganda, and the language, newspeak.
Newspeak, right? Yeah, I mean that's mind-blowing, isn't it? The whole idea that they can reshape language itself to control what people can even think.
It's genius in a really twisted way. Reduce the vocabulary, simplify the grammar, get rid of words like freedom, justice, love, take away their meaning, their depth until they're just empty sounds.
It's like they're trying to create a society of, I don't know, of zombies, just going through the motions, no real thoughts of their own.
And it's all about control, right? Orwell, he understood this. Language, it's not just about communication, it's about how we understand the world, how we think. Control the language, you control the mind.
Makes you think, doesn't it? About how language is used today. Maybe not newspeak exactly, but I don't know, propaganda, political slogans, all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the way words are used to dehumanize people, to justify violence, or how complicated problems they get boiled down to these simple phrases, No room for real discussion, for nuance.
Oh, well, he was on to something, wasn't he?
He was ahead of his time.
Big time. And his warnings, they still ring true, don't they? We need to be, I don't know, more aware, more careful with the language we use, the language we hear.
We have to be. Language, it's powerful. It can inspire, but it can also be used to manipulate. And it's always changing, right? Shaped by culture, by politics, by technology. We need to be engaged, to be critical.
So, thinking about 1984, it's pretty bleak, right? But there's also this sense of, I don't know, of hope. Winston and Julia, their love affair, their little rebellion, it's like a reminder that even in the darkest times, the human spirit, it finds a way.
Right. It's like they refuse to give up their humanity, even when everything is stacked against them. It's a reminder that even under the worst oppression, that the desire for freedom, for truth, for connection, it can't be totally wiped out.
And Winston's, I mean, even his final submission, it's horrifying, right? But in a way, it's also about survival.
It is. It's bleak, but it's also about the resilience of the human spirit, how we adapt even in the most awful situations.
It makes you think about what freedom really means, right? And how far we would go to hold on to it.
And how far we would go to survive. 1984, it's a book that stays with you, makes you look at the world differently, makes you question things. Makes
you think about what you'd be willing to sacrifice for freedom.
Exactly. And what we need to do to protect those freedoms. Because it's not just a story, is it? It's a reflection of what's possible, the dark side of human nature, the potential for tyranny that's always there. It's a warning, a call to action to guard our freedoms, to resist anyone who tries to control our thoughts, our words, our lives.
You know what gets me? It's that whole thing with language. It's like the party uses it, I don't know, like a weapon almost, to control how people think.
Yeah, newspeak. It's brilliant, really, but in a terrifying kind of way, the way Orwell describes it, So simple, but so effective. Just get rid of the words, the concepts that threaten your power. Freedom, justice, heck, even love.
Yeah.
They lose all their meaning, their power.
It's like they're trying to make everyone into, I don't know, robots or something. No ability to think for themselves, to question anything.
Exactly. Orwell understood, I think, how powerful language is. It shapes how we see the world, how we think, how we feel. Control language, you control well, everything.
Makes you think about, propaganda, all the political stuff we see today. I mean, maybe not newspeak exactly, but still.
Oh, totally. Think about how words are used, to make people afraid, to divide them, to make them hate each other, or to oversimplify things, to shut down any real debate.
Yeah, exactly.
Orwell, he knew what he was talking about. His warnings, they matter, now more than ever, I think.
So what do we do? I mean, it's easy to get overwhelmed, right, by all this.
It is, but we have to be aware. We have to pay attention to the language we use, the language we hear. We have to think critically.
And I guess, at the end of the day, 1984, it's a warning, right?
Yeah.
But it's also about hope. I mean, Winston and Julia, they fight back. In their own way, they find love, they find connection.
They do, and they refuse to let the party take away their humanity, their spirit. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always hope. That the human spirit it can endure.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here, I guess I'm left with this feeling of, I don't know, like a mix of unease, but also this sense of responsibility. Like we have to remember Orwell's warnings to fight for the things that matter.
We do. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech, the right to question things, those are things worth fighting for.
They are. And in 1984, it's a reminder that the fight for freedom, it's never over. It's something we have to be vigilant about, to work for every single day. So thanks to everyone for joining us on this journey into the world of 1984. It's a book that stays with you, that makes you think, and hopefully it inspires us all to be a little more aware, a little more engaged, a little more willing to stand up for what we believe in.
Couldn't have said it better myself.